which would legally make me an adult before turning 18. Or we could report my parents to Child Protective Services, which might force them to take me back or place me in foster care. Neither option sounded great. Emancipation would mean taking on full adult responsibilities when I was already struggling to balance school and work. And CPS might take my siblings away too, which I definitely didn't want. Mrs. Thompson must have seen my hesitation. She suggested a third option, having another relative petition for temporary guardianship. That way, I could legally stay with someone like Megan or my grandparents without my parents getting in trouble. I thanked her for the advice and promised to think about it. On the way back to Megan's, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. It was my little brother Alex, using my dad's old phone. He said my parents were fighting all the time now, and the house was a mess without me there. My heart ached reading his messages. I missed him and my other siblings so much. When I got back to Megan's, I had a surprise waiting for me. My grandparents were there, sitting in the living room with serious expressions. For a second, I thought something terrible had happened. "Don't look so worried," my grandmother said, patting the couch next to her. "We just want to talk about what happens next." They had heard about the credit card situation from my mom, but unlike my parents, they weren't angry. They were concerned. They thought I shouldn't be working so much while trying to finish high school. They wanted me to focus on my education. My grandfather cleared his throat. "We have a proposal for you. We'd like you to come live with us until you graduate. We have plenty of room, and you won't have to work so many hours to support yourself." I was stunned. My grandparents lived in a nice house about 30 minutes from my school. Moving in with them would solve so many problems, but I was worried about imposing on them. They were in their 70s and probably didn't want a teenager disrupting their retirement. "We've already discussed it with your parents," my grandmother added, seeing my hesitation. "They've agreed, as long as you visit them and the kids every weekend." Of course they had a condition. They still wanted access to my free babysitting services, but one day a week was a lot better than every day. And living with my grandparents would be a huge improvement over couch surfing at Megan's, as much as I appreciated her taking me in. So I agreed. That weekend, I moved my stuff to my grandparents' house. They had converted their home office into a bedroom for me. It was small but cozy, with a twin bed, a desk, and a bookshelf. My grandmother had even bought new bedding and curtains to make it feel like my own space. The first night there, I slept better than I had in weeks. There was something calming about being in their house, away from the chaos of my parents' home, but still with family who cared about me. The next morning was Saturday, which meant I had to face my first visitation with my parents and siblings. My grandmother drove me over, promising to pick me up at 6 p.m. sharp. I was nervous the entire ride over. When we pulled up to my parents' house, my siblings came running out the front door. Emma launched herself into my arms, and the younger ones crowded around me, all talking at once. I hugged them tightly, realizing how much I had missed their little faces. My parents were standing in the doorway, watching. My mom's expression was unreadable, but my dad looked annoyed, probably because he had to deal with the kids all morning until I arrived. Once my grandmother left, I spent the day playing with my siblings, helping them with homework, and catching up on their lives. It was almost like old times, except for the tension whenever my parents were in the room. My mom eventually cornered me in the kitchen while I was making lunch for the kids. "So, you're too good to live here anymore, but you'll take handouts from your grandparents?" she said with a sneer.